Christopher Langan is 14 years old, working on his ranch in Montana, United States, irrigating fields, stacking hay. He tells us he has two books with him. One is Einstein Theory of Relativity, the other is Bertrand Russell. The idea occurs to Langan that the geometric of Einstein and the linguistic of Russell need to be put together. 36 years after the seed of curiosity was planted, Langan releases the Cognitive Theoretic Model of the universe, his theory of everything. What does the CTMU say about the universe? Where Einstein's theory of relativity put an end to the concept of absolute space and absolute time, showing how spacetime is distributed among different observers, Chris Langan puts an end to the concept of an absolute logic, showing how it is self-distributed within syntactors. Einstein led our thoughts out of the concept of a big, solid, absolute block of space by quantizing space in spacetime events. Chris Langan, similarly, wants to get us out of the concept of a big, absolute solid block of logic by quantizing logic in distributed, consponsive cycles. Instead of imagining that we are traveling inside absolute coordinates, Einstein tells us that we are traveling within our own coordinate. Similarly, Chris Langan tells us we are not experiencing a big, absolute logical space, but traveling in our own logical space. Chris Langan does not leave us lost within that logical space, but provides the general logical invariant that connects us to reality and each other. The consequences of those insights are very significant. Finding the logical axioms of the world, finding the absolute block of premises, finding the written word predicting the exact unfolding of world events is the work and hope of scientists. Yet, it is an illusion. God is not a giant clock that can be pieced apart and put together for the eye to see. In other words, looking for the logical axioms of the world events of the universe has already failed. Scientists looking for such axioms are like geometers trying to measure the length of absolute space with a ruler. Their tools are not adapted to the nature of reality. Just like we know that there is no absolute space to measure, likewise, there is no absolute logical space to uncover. The scientific method, based on falsification theory and empirical science, the sacred tools of modern scientists, is a ruler used to measure an absolute logical space that does not exist. Again, the scientists looking for such a logical block are trying to build the high tower of language and logic. But God, in His infinite wisdom, spread the language and logic in different parts in the universe. No high tower of knowledge will ever capture the universe. Yes, Chris Langan tells us all modern scientists are wrong about logic itself and their methods doomed to fail. The failure of the Tower of Babel is ingrained in the nature of reality. The expansive manifold is generative and will never let itself be described by a single set of laws, an accumulation of axioms and knowledge brought together one by the tool of modern science, and culminating in an ultimate summit of rationality, tying all of the universe together. According to Christopher Langan, the only logic that truly exists is a different kind of logic, the CTMU itself. Rather than being like a big block of logical space with its axioms, symbols, tied neatly to their consequences through a series of deductive steps, logic is like a contraction within itself. No axiom at the top, but a self-contained logical process. Not only is logic like a process, but it is a self-distributed process. The fundamental ground state from which logic itself emerges, or unbounded telesis, is used everywhere, for the whole, but for the parts as well. Each of us is creating logic from the same source as the universe created itself as a whole. The expansive manifold is generative. In some sense, we are creators, like Nietzsche might have envisioned. Yet, the insight of Nietzsche seems to have missed almost the entire structure of the universe. We are creators as image of the ultimate creator, the CTMU says. Logic self-distributes within topologically confined objects, particles, animals, and humans. Just as meaning is produced by the universe, we human bind meaning onto the world. We climbed high in the economy of creation and telesis, but we are wrestling with higher beings, angels, demons, and ultimately with the will of God.